The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the grain had sprouted and produced a crop, the tares also appeared. So the servants of the owner came to him and said, "Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? How then does it have tares?" He said to them, "An enemy has done this." The servants said to him, "Do you want us then to go and gather them up?" But he said, "No, lest while you gather up the tares, you also uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And at the time of the harvest I will say to the reapers, First gather the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn." Jesus told his disciples that there would be an age in which the church and the culture around it would look very much the same. The tares and the wheat would appear alike. However, in time, the church would grow unique and distinct from the culture, and then the harvest would come. Researchers who study the church today believe that this age of distinction is rapidly coming into view. Pretentious liberal Protestantism is disappearing from the American landscape, while the nones, those of no religious affiliation, and non-denominational evangelicals are witnessing enormous growth. The distinction between the world and the church is becoming clearer with each passing day. But is there a reason for this phenomenon? What can Christians learn from this evident trend of distinction? It's a valid question which is receiving some attention and prompting research. Religion professor James Wellman, understanding the decline in liberal Protestantism, wanted to find somewhere where liberal churches were experiencing success. Wellman chose to study both liberal and evangelical churches in the Pacific Northwest. He reasoned that this liberal bastion of America, where the population is predominantly urban, educated, and democratic, would be a prime location for liberal churches to thrive. He discovered instead what he called, quote, "a veritable bouquet of thriving, vital evangelical congregations," but the liberal churches showed little to no growth. Instead of providing liberals around the country with a positive model of church growth, Wellman ended up adding more fuel to the current research trends. So why are people leaving the liberal Protestant movement, and where are they going? It appears to researchers that liberals today are saying about church, why bother? Why make a pretense of worship at all? These are the religious nones, people who identify as atheists or agnostics, or those who say their religion is nothing in particular. And they are growing. In 2007, 16% of Americans were nones, but today they make up around 23% of the U.S. population. However, even more fascinating than the trend from liberal Protestantism to none is the trend among evangelical churches themselves. While traditional evangelical denominations are only slowly increasing or maintaining their membership, the evangelical non-denominational church is growing at an astonishing rate. Researchers have found that during the last 40 years, there has been a more than 400% growth in Protestants who identify as non-denominational, with the sharpest increase of 200% between 2012 and 2014. The nation's independent and non-denominational churches, if combined into a single cluster, would represent the second largest number of churches behind Roman Catholic and the third largest group of religious adherents in the country, following Roman Catholics and Southern Baptists. And the phenomenon is on the rise. One non-denominational pastor observed, "It is not the denominational or legal ties, but strong relational ties are what binds us, with a common vision or goal. Typically," he said, "it's kind of like a family." Early research in this area supports the fact that in non-denominational congregations, the dominant basis of authority functioning in these churches is relational, grounded in a unity of vision and purpose. It is this unity and common purpose that draws people to the church. They are answering Jesus' prayer in John 17. "I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one, Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. May they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me." The unity of the church is a witness to the world for Jesus Christ. One researcher notes the rise of non-denominational Christianity is probably one of the strongest trends in the last 2 decades. It is nearly as sharp as an increase in the no religion response. Sharp, distinct cultural separation now exists in the religious landscape of America. The church is growing more beautiful and more distinct from the world around it each and every day. The wheat and the tares are becoming clearer as the Church of Jesus Christ perseveres and awaits the coming harvest.